Hi, everyone. Okay, so thank you for joining. I'm so sorry that our other guests could not make it today, but you guys are stuck with me. I hope we are going to have a lot of fun today. How many of you guys, let me just take it off of me so I can see everybody. How many of you guys have heard of the story of Peter and the Wolf? Everybody has their cameras off. Can I see your beautiful faces, please? Pretty please. Or can you raise your hand in the chat, something like that. Peter and the Wolf. I see 3 hands. Anybody else? Just 3 hands? Okay. Kind of 4. Oh, I got some other hands up. Okay, very nice. How many of you guys have heard Hall of the Mountain King? I bet some of you guys kind of sort of know it. If you hear it, you're like, oh, I know that one. And then the other one is Dance Macabre. Do you guys know that one? We got some spooky stuff for us. It's like kind of, think of tonight as like a fire camp storytelling night, okay? Now, you guys get to pick. Tell me in the chat. Do you want me to start with the happy one? Or do you want me to start with the scary ones? I can end with the spooky ones. You guys want me to end with the scary, or you want me to start with the scary? You guys are all picking scary. It's not super scary, just a little scary. I promise no nightmares. Don't you want me to end with the good stuff? Don't you want me to end with the scary stuff? All right, hands up. I gotta see hands because you guys are just typing happy, sad, scary, all that stuff. Hands up. Start with the scary. Hands up. Start with the happy. Okay, I guess you guys want me to start with the scary stuff. All right, so we'll end happy so you guys can go to sleep without nightmares. Okay, so let's start with the scary stuff. Ooh, think of Halloween, okay? What are some things you usually see around Halloween time? Type it in the chat. Type it in the chat for me, guys. What are some things you see during Halloween time? I'm looking for something specific. Candy, yes, good. Love me some good candy. Monsters, kind of on the right track. What else? What are other things? Ghosts, okay. Trolls, zombies, jack-o'-lanterns, ghouls. Keep going, guys. You're almost there. You're almost to what I'm looking for. More candy, yeah. Yeah, what else? I always see these outside. Vampires, devils, people in costumes. You're getting closer. Getting closer. Ghosts. Witches. You guys are skipping one thing. Decorations. Jack-o'-lanterns, pumpkins, humans. Humans are scary sometimes. I agree with that. I'll give you a hint. All humans have these. Ooh, what is that? Zombies. Not all humans are zombies. Brains, teeth. Kind of. Think a little bit bigger. Think a little bit bigger. A body. Yeah, what's inside that body that you usually see during Halloween time? Bones. Be specific. If I have a whole set of bones, what are they? Yes, Ria, thank you. Skeletons. Eventually, right, guys? I know. I had my coffee today. So, skeletons, yes. I want you to imagine something spooky and skeletons. So, in this song, you're going to see something, a technique on the violin. Some of you guys have never seen this before. Most of you guys are violinists, some cellists, okay? So you guys are used to playing with your bow on the string with the hair touching the string, right? You get the nice, beautiful sound, right? Now, what I'm gonna do, this is called colegno. You guys can try to say this on your own. Obviously, I can't hear you. Colegno, okay? And it means with the wood or the stick part of your violin. So listen carefully. You hear that? So that's supposed to represent the sound of like skeleton bones. So when you listen to it, you might hear some of that. Now, one more thing. You guys are used to hearing our violins being in tune, right? So when we tune in something called fifths, right? You have this perfect fifths. It sounds pretty. It sounds like this. Right? So for this song, we have, and our top two strings are open A, open E, right? For this song, we are not going to tune to those fifths. We are actually going to tune to a different note. Okay, so listen to this note here. That is an E. I'm going to move my peg down to an E flat. It sounds ugly, right? So now listen with that with my open A string. You guys hear that? It sounds out of tune, right? You guys are like, oh, that does not sound good. So the beginning of the song, to get that spooky, spooky setting, there's a violin soloist. And then they play with the bow on the string, and it's supposed to sound creepy and scary and ugly. And this is what it sounds like. And then the whole violin section comes back in, and then they play a chord. But you hear how it kind of sounds like, oh, that doesn't hit my ear right. Oh, that might sound a little ugly and it sound a little harsh, right? So that's the beginning of this song. I'm gonna play it for you. Right before I play it, I'm gonna read you from my little fairy tale book. So this is called Danse Macabre, okay? The imaginary creatures featured in this work are nothing less than skeletons risen from the grave to perform a peculiar dance. In composing the music, Camille Saint-Saëns is a French composer. He was inspired by this poem called La Danse Macabre, itself based on a medieval tradition. Medieval, okay? Yes, it is an augmented fourth. Good job, Lorley. Okay. With the wars and the famines and the plagues that ravaged the 15th century, Europe was traumatized. And a lot of people, experienced death. It was really dark. It was a dark time, right? And this is when the Danse Macabre, or the Dance of Death, was first appear in art, literature, and theater. Okay. And it was in the form of a rondo. Some of you guys have done some songs called rondo, in which the dead danced like the living. So I want you to imagine skeletons in like costumes, and they kind of come to life and they start dancing on stage. So it didn't matter if they were rich or poor or young or old, but they conveyed that everyone's station in life all ends with death. It's really dark. It's really deep. All right. So, but no need to be frightened by this sinister theme of dance, because it's actually quite fun. So I'm going to play some of it for you guys. This is just a short clip of it. You'll hear the orchestra. Do you guys know what a xylophone is? You guys seen that, right? You might have it in school where it looks like a little Orff instrument. You have the little things and you bang on them. Okay. So they also have skeletons. The bones are supposed to sound like the skeletons running around when you use that. Okay. So let me just double check, share my screen. This one right here. All right. Give me a thumbs up. Can you all see this? Great. Hold on, guys. I want to find you a recording with an orchestra, not just piano accompaniment. There's got to be one. It might just be the recording. Okay, so this is with the actual orchestra. It's kind of a creepy picture too. So it's really soft. It's kind of creepy. Hear all the plucking. Hear the violin? That's the flute. It starts soft, it gets louder. Violin solo. Can you guys hear it? I know it's really soft. Okay, good. Let's skip a little bit to a different section. Sounds a little happy right now. Now it sounds really pretty. Let's skip ahead. You hear that? That's the xylophone. Okay, I'm going to skip ahead because I want to make sure we have time for all the other ones, okay? So the next one, I want to stop sharing for a hot sec. Okay, so for the next one, we have In the Hall of the Mountain King, all right? So the Mountain King, who appears in the play Peer Gynt. Peer Gynt is a famous play, is none other than the King of Trolls. I think some of you guys have seen the movie Trolls, right? This one's kind of a different troll. I want you to think of like really, really big. Look, there's even a picture of him. He's a little angry looking. Kind of cool. And in the King of Trolls, imaginary creatures from a Scandinavian mythology, often depicted as boorish, malice, ugly creatures living in caves. That's why he's inside of here. He's inside of a cave, okay? Peer Gynt is the story of an egotistical and ambitious young man who travels the world in search of wealth and pleasure. When he returns to his native village after 20 years of wandering, he discovers on his deathbed that the happiness he sought had been hiding there all along. In the Hall of the Mountain King, it describes one of Peer Gynt's adventures. He enters the kingdom of the trolls to make the king's daughter fall in love with him. After achieving his purpose, he secretly decides to flee the cave and its bloodthirsty denizens. So you will most likely recognize. Am I frozen to you guys? Okay, good. No, he doesn't want to marry a troll. He is the troll. He wants to marry the troll's daughter. Does that make sense? I don't know why. He's just having a good time. He wants to go find this troll. Okay, so now let's look at, you guys are going to enjoy this. I know you guys will recognize the song, all right? But this is a really, really cool video showing you a lot of different musical symbols I know you guys already know, okay? If I were to draw, let me draw some of it for you guys. I want you to tell me what these symbols mean. Let me see if I can draw good ones. What is this? Anybody know? Type it in. I don't know if I can see the chat. Very nice. We got treble clef. What is this one? Anybody else? Bass clef. Very good. Here's another one. This one's a little tricky. It's okay if you don't spell it right. What is this symbol? Looks like a little eyeball. Yes, a fermata. Very good. Good job on the spelling, Thapora. So a fermata, that means we hold it out and we elongate it a little bit, right? So we can hold it out. Let me just double check some other symbols. What is this one? You guys know these. This one might be a little tricky to spell. Good. Pianissimo. Yes, 1 P is piano, 2 P's is pianissimo. Good. And then same thing for this one. You might see different ones. Good. Fortissimo. Forte is 1 F, 2 F's is forte. What about this one? Kind of looks like a hairpin, right? Good. Crescendo. You guys got it. All right. So I'm going to share the video with you guys. We're going to watch the whole thing. It's kind of short. I think you're going to really enjoy it. Let's share the screen. All right, see if you can follow the little guy. This is one of my favorites. Enjoy. And, yep, drop. Accents. That's measure 10. Even tells you the measure numbers. It's faster. And he ends at the double bar line. It's very cute. You guys enjoy that one? That one's one of my favorites. Okay. I don't know what that is. Is that me? I guess it is. Oh, it is somebody playing. Sorry about that, guys. Sorry you had to listen to that. It was a different video because it kept loading. All right, so on to happier things. No more scary stuff. But how many of you guys recognize that? How many of you guys have heard that before? How many of you guys have seen that video before? Okay, a couple of us? All right. There's a ton of those. If you guys want to type in like song names and type in line writer, it's really fun. Okay, on to happier stuff. So the story of Peter and the Wolf. All right. The story of Peter and the Wolf, as you can imagine, has a story about this boy named Peter, and then there's a wolf. There's also other animals. So I'm going to show you and play for you a couple of things. We are going to look at the music. So you're going to see each instrument represents a different character in this story. So this is originally a story, and then somebody named Sergei Prokofiev, he's a composer, wrote music to this story. And it's actually, they made a Disney movie out of it a long, long time ago. And Sergei Prokofiev actually had, it was a rumor. He went and told people that it was actually inspired by Walt Disney himself. You guys know that Walt Disney was a person. And while he was doing Disney, he was like, I have this image and I see the music with it, and this would be perfect for something like Disney, who's doing picture shows. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen again. So I'm going to be going back and forth between the this right here and some of the music. Okay. So this one right here, we have the story of Peter and the Wolf. You guys see this part? This is the violin section. So you're going to hear when Peter's character comes in, you're going to hear the violin part. I'm going to play it for you so you guys know what it sounds like. You guys can hear that? Good, awesome. So that is Peter himself. He is a little boy, okay? And then next we have, where's my birdie? Oh, here it is. This is the bird right here. It almost sounds like a bird. Okay. And then here is our duck. And that is, oh, who is the bird? The bird, what instrument represented the bird? Can you guys type that in for me? Anybody? What instrument did that sound like? Good, the flute. Exactly. So the next instrument is going to be the duck. And it is played by an oboe. It's kind of quacky. It sounds just like a duck. And then you see the little bird comes in. Okay, next we have the cat. It's over here. The cat is represented by the clarinet, and he's really sneaky sounding. Think of a little cat tiptoeing. All right. Can you guys hear it okay? It's too soft? Okay, that's good. The next, I want you to think of grandpa, but not the fun grandpa. You know how sometimes you see in movies where grandpa's really like stubborn and cranky and he's like, I don't want to do anything, right? Like the grandpa from the movie Up or something like that. He gets really cranky. So the grandpa is going to be represented by the bassoon. So here's the bassoon. Okay, and then the next, we're going to skip ahead. We have the wolf, the French horns. We have multiple French horns. Yeah, my volume is up all the way, guys. I can't really make it any louder. Just bear with me. When I play the YouTube videos, I think they'll be louder, okay? I think it's just because I'm playing these on Spotify. Bear with me. Where are we? The wolf. So here's the wolf with the French horn. A little symbol creates suspense. Okay. So the idea is you have all of these different instruments and they all represent different things that's part of the story. There are two different ways to perform this that is typical. Sometimes you have an orchestra, like what you guys are used to, and then you have a narrator, somebody who reads the story while the orchestra is performing it. The other thing is a ballet where you have dancers who also show you what's happening along with a narrator. There's like a set kind of 2-page narration for you guys to listen to. I'm going to show you one with the orchestra, a little bit of the narration, and then I'm going to show you one with the ballet dancers, and they're kids. Okay, it's a kid ballet. So let me just bring that up for you. Share my screen. We'll watch a little bit. So I'm skipping a little bit where he introduces all of the different instruments because I just did that for you guys. So he's going to start from the beginning of the story.
Once upon a time, early one morning, Peter opened the gate and went out into the big green meadow. On a branch of a big tree sat a little bird, Peter's friend. All is quiet, chirped the bird gaily.
It sounds like a bird having a conversation.
Just then a duck came waddling around. She was glad that Peter had not closed the gate and decided to take a nice swim in the deep pond in the meadow.
Okay, so I'm going to pause this one right here. So here is the story, right? So these are all of the different stories. This is the whole entire story. You see, it's only 2 pages. And then all of the different instrumentation and where they're playing comes in between each of these little paragraphs, okay? So if you guys have any type of listening app, you can just Google Peter and the Wolf PDF. You can read the story and listen to the music at the same time, all right? So I'm actually gonna switch over now to a different video. You guys can still see my screen, right? So it's the same, this is kind of where it left off, where the duck comes from the pond. And you can see it's a little bit of an older video, but it's one of the most famous ones. It's a children's ballet. It's the Royal Academy Ballet. And they are all about your age. And they are representing different things. Like you'll see all of the blue people in the circle, that's the pond. You will see the duck. You'll see green representing grass of that beautiful meadow that Peter plays in. So I'm going to keep going from here. You'll still hear the music and you'll still hear the narrator, okay?
Seeing the duck, the bird flew down upon the grass and settled next to her.
Try to listen to both the bird
Shrugging her shoulders, she said,
and the
"What
duck.
kind of bird are you that can't fly?" To this the duck replied, "What kind of bird are you that can't swim?" Huh! And jumped into the pond. They argued and argued, the duck swimming in the pond, the little bird hopping along the bank. Suddenly, something caught Peter's attention. It was a cat crawling through the grass.
That's your clarinet.
The cat was thinking, that bird is so busy arguing, I'll just grab her. Stealthily, she crept towards her on her velvet paws.
Okay, I'm going to skip a little bit ahead. So we have the cat, who is the clarinet, and you can hear in some of the music that sometimes it goes back and forth between clarinet, flute, or oboe, and it's just because they're all having these little musical conversations back and forth, and it's really nice to have the ballet to help us with the visuals, right? I'm going to skip to the next section. This is part 2. I'm going to skip over to part 3. So in part 3, you're going to see, I think it's part 3, the hunters, and we have a wolf, and imagine having, oh, there we go. So imagine seeing a wolf, and then you have these rangers or these hunters coming out with their rifles, and they want to hunt this wolf down, and then they have these bang bangs, and that's going to be represented by the timpani, which is a percussion instrument. It's going to sound like this big boom boom.
Peter paid no attention to his grandfather's advice. Boys such as he are simply not afraid of wolves.
Peter's theme.
But grandfather took Peter by the hand, led him home, and locked the gate.
That's the bassoon, the cranky grandpa. It goes back and forth, you know, grandpa they're all yelling at each other. I'm gonna skip ahead a little bit, okay? Because this is where the wolf comes out. French horn. I'm going to skip over to where the wolf meets the duck. Listen if you can hear the duck, which is the oboe, and the horns, which is the wolf.
Wolf. He was getting nearer and nearer, catching up with her. And then he got her, and with one gulp, swallowed her. And now,
So you can hear how the music changes. You know, it's the same theme as that poor little duck who just got eaten by a wolf. But now it's sad. It's not as happy like this duck that's swimming in the pond. He just got eaten by a wolf. So it's a lot slower. It's a lot more dark. You can hear the string accompanying that little section to make it a little bit more sinister. Okay. So now we're going to skip a little bit ahead to a little bit more wolf stuff. Bird in the background next to Peter and the cat. That's why you hear the flute.
in the meantime, Peter, without the slightest fear, stood by the wall watching all that was going on. He ran home, took a strong rope, climbed up the high stone wall. Now one of the branches of the tree under which the wolf was lying stretched out over this wall.
So I want you to listen to this. You see how Peter has this rope. Peter has his rope, and then he's on top, but he's going to climb on top of a wall, right? And I want you to listen to the violin part. Because when he climbs down the rope, when the rope is down, you're going to hear the violin soloist do a little chromatic run. It's going pew, like the rope is coming down. It's really cool.
Grabbing hold of the branch. Peter lightly climbed over onto the tree. Peter said to the bird, "Fly down and circle the wolf's head, only take care that he doesn't catch you." The bird almost touched the wolf's head with her wings, while the wolf snapped angrily from this side and that.
Okay, so then it goes on to part 4, and then the hunters show up. You guys can watch the rest on your own. You guys can go on YouTube, type in Peter and the Wolf, try to find the story. Part of the fun is finding out the end of the story, and I really want you guys to go check this out all on your own. All right. I have about 10 minutes left. Does anybody have any questions? I got some hands. Max.
What are we gonna do for the next 10 minutes?
We're gonna do questions just like how we would have it for any other guests. Okay. So I'll answer some of the same questions I ask all my other guests for you guys. Okay. Sanjana?
What was that? The one where the troll story. What was that like type of video where the person was like riding down that little roadie?
So that's called Line Rider.
Mhm.
Like a line rider, and they have that for a lot of different songs, a lot of good classical music. They did a lot of fun things with those as well, so you can find those on YouTube. Sadvika, you have another question?
Why did the wolf like eat the duck? Was it like hungry?
Well, yeah, I think by nature, wolves are predators, so they like to go and find other animals that they might be able to either capture or eat. They're kind of like big bullies. So that's why that happened. Literally asked, what would you do if you found a penguin in your freezer? I would take it out of the freezer. I would give it a hug. Once it's too warm, I would put it back in the freezer and try to find an ice box home for it. I feel like that's the best thing I could do if I found a penguin in my freezer. Would I rather fight a horse-sized duck or 100 duck-sized horses? All right, guys. I thought a lot about this. All right. And my answer to this, let me tell you why, okay? I have a dog, and my dog she loves to run around a lot, and sometimes we have little dog friends. For you guys who have pets, you understand, right? And when you have little dog friends running around you, it's very hard to keep track. Now imagine 100 of those, but little ducks of horses. I would not be able to control that. So I would fight one horse-sized duck, because I feel like that would be much easier than 100 duck-sized horses. That is my answer. Very good question. Can we hear your best dog imitation? My dog doesn't bark. She howls. She goes, and if you guys know Dory, that's exactly what Dory sounds like. She doesn't give me dog barks. Any other questions, guys? I have the list of questions I can just ask myself that I would normally ask my other guests. Do I like teapots? I love teapots. I love drinking tea. It's my favorite. My mom collects teapots. I know you guys are too young to know who this is, but there's an older character, like TV famous character. His name is Mr. T. And there's like a teapot and it's a Mr. T teapot. And I love it. I love teapots. I probably have too many. What would you do if you found an angry bear in your house? What would I do if I found an angry bear in my house? I would get out of the house. Luckily, I have bear mace in my house just because I do live by woods and my woods are, prone for bears. Apparently there's a bear that's just walked down my street. So we do have bear mace just in case. I would try to grab that and then run out of my house and maybe call animal control because I feel like that's a smart thing to do. Max, do you have a question?
If you was sleeping, I would just take out a knife and start stabbing his head.
I didn't hear that.
Well, if I saw an angry bear, I would just stab it with a knife. Then it would be gone.
I don't think it would be wise to stab a bear with a knife because that means I have to go close to the bear. And I don't think I could win that fight.
If he's asleep.
Oh, if he's asleep. But that's if he's asleep.
Bears are very lazy.
Oh, okay. What did I do for the 4th of July? I didn't do much. I had a small barbecue. A couple friends came over. We watched the fireworks from my deck because we're super high up and we can see some of it. What would you do if a chicken started talking to you? I would talk back to it. Duh. Right? Wouldn't that be great? If a chicken started talking to me, I think I would talk back to the chicken. I'd be like, hey, what's your name? What's going on? What came first, the chicken or the egg? I would ask the chicken that. That's a good question. What would you do if 3 angry squirrels were attacking you and all you had was a medieval wooden training sword to fight them off? What did you guys have for dinner tonight? Do you guys have dessert already?
Oh, but I have an idea.
Oh yeah, Max? What's your idea?
Let it scratch your sword so it would get sharper with the splinters. Then you could fight.
Oh, if I already had 3 angry squirrels attacking me, I don't think I'll have time to sharpen my wooden knife.
They wouldn't attack the sword, just block it with your sword and they'll get sharp.
Oh, okay. Well, I think I would use it as a shield, like just kind of get them away from me. I know squirrels are really climbing and stuff like that, but I think I would just be like, be gone.
Wood up to make a shield.
Yeah. Did you ever eat a spider? No, thank you. I am really, really afraid of spiders. It's not my favorite thing. What is your favorite character in Peter and the Wolf? Ooh, that's a hard one. I really like the cat. I really like how kind of creepy and the imitation of the clarinet matching the cat. I really like how they do a good job. He did a really good job writing for that. If your dog could talk, what do you think she would say? Right now, I think she'd say, Mom, it's too hot. Like I said, my dog is half husky, half Pomeranian. She's just very furry. And it's almost like if you had a blanket on all day, every day. And she'd probably just say, I'm really hot. Can we turn on the AC more? What is your favorite story? My favorite story is actually a book. It's called The Little Prince. Do you guys know it? Some of us? It's my favorite book of all time. All right. And it's not just a book for adults or children. It's a book for all ages. I would highly recommend reading it. It's probably one of the most translated books in the entire world. And it's very small. It's a kind of a short story, but it's very nice. What is my favorite movie? I don't think I have a favorite movie. I like to read books. I've seen lots of movies though. My favorite ice cream. I don't know if I have a favorite ice cream. I like Rita's. I like their vanilla custard. I don't know if that counts. What would you do if you found a box of chocolates? I would eat it. Good question. I do like my dark chocolates. Any other questions, guys? You guys got great questions for me. Any music related questions? Music related? Max?
How many composers do you know?
How many what?
Composers do you know?
Composers. I don't know off the top of my head, but a lot of composers. I've had to play a few of them, and I've had to conduct a few of them too. It's always nice to listen to and experiment with all these different types of composers. What if you had a giant spider the size of your violin? I would burn it. I would not be happy. I would leave the vicinity of wherever I am very, very fast. What is your favorite piece of music? That's a good question. I do have a favorite violin concerto if you guys want to check it out. It's very different. It's called the Britten Violin Concerto. Britten, Britt. Britten, it's En at the end. Fantastic. So it has some beautiful sections, but then it has some really quirky stuff to it too. Try listening to that. What is your favorite instrument? Oh, that's an easy question for me. It's not hard. My favorite instrument is actually the cello. The cello is the closest to the human voice. It has a beautiful 4-octave range, and it's the closest that harmonically is to our chest and our voice. If you had to play a song 1,000 times nonstop, what would you do? I'd stretch a lot. I feel like I'd get really sore really fast. Max, can you type in your question? Allie asked, if you can meet any musician, which would you meet? Is this a person dead or alive? I think I'll tell you my favorite composer. My favorite composer is Johannes Brahms. I have a little bust of him over here. This bronze bust of him. He's like this big. I got him for my birthday one year, and he's my absolute favorite. But other than that, maybe a living musician. There's a great violinist named James Ennis. I really like him. He's my favorite modern day violinist. So, yeah. Max, you still typing your question? Okay. What is your favorite animal? I really like owls. I think owls are wise and intelligent. I also like foxes. I like how they are very playful. I'll wait for Max's question and then we'll wrap it up. If you found an ice cream as big as you, what if you found an ice cream as big as you? Don't come at me, guys. I do like ice cream, but I'm not crazy about ice cream. It's not my favorite dessert. So I'd probably share it if I found an ice cream as big as me. I'm not that big. You guys have seen me. I'm about the same size as you guys, if not smaller. So it's not a big ice cream. What would you do? Why would you burn the spider? You burn your house or apartment. You know what? If there's a spider there, I'm not trying to go back there. Do you ever sit in your egg chair for hours end with a book? So this egg chair used to be at my house. It used to be outside, and I would sit in there and I would sit and read, but I moved it into my studio here where I teach now. So my students can pick a book. I have like a little mini bookshelf where they can also sit in the egg and read. So, because I have a lot of siblings who come for lessons, so they take turns. That's what happened. What if your hair turned purple? That sounds fun. I'd have purple hair. I've had blue hair. Why not? Have fun. All right, guys. Great questions. I hope you guys had fun. I hope you guys got to know me a little bit better. We're going to meet next week. Next week also is going to be a lot of fun. We're going to do game night. So it's going to be game night. Yes, Max, you can leave. It's going to be game night with Miss Kemp. Miss Kemp teaches the orchestra above me, and I will do the same thing. I'll host. She will run the whole game night. It will be, you guys can answer questions. They're going to be music related. And then we will ask her questions at the end, just like you guys asked me. All right. All right, guys. Thanks. Great job. Bye.